YouTube, what's up? It's your girl Sherelle, and I am back with another review for The Have and the Have Not, Season 7, Episode 14, and it is called Someone Special. And if you are tuning into my channel for the very first time, be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification button so it lets you know when I have uploaded new reviews. And like this video and comment down below on tonight's review and what you thought and your predictions. Let's talk about it in the comments. I love talking to you guys down in the comments. You guys give me a good kiki and you also give me tea. And, I just love chatting with you guys down in the comments. So y'all already see the title. Let's get into it. So we open up with Derek and Hannah, where we left off at the Cryer's mansion. And Jim called Derek over there basically to fix whatever needed to be fixed from Wyatt breaking in and stealing stuff. So I guess, the cops was trying to get from Hannah to confirm who Derek was and confirm his story. And Hannah was just looking at him, and Derek was looking at her like, Hannah, could you please tell them I work for the Cryers? And, they had their little spat back and forth because we all know Hannah is on edge because she found out that Derek was the guy who raped her when she was younger. But he was, that's Candy's daddy. Bottom line, that's Candy daddy. And, yeah, so he was looking like, Hannah, could you please tell them who I am and tell the truth? And she looking at him like, you really want me to tell the truth about who you really is? You want me to tell them that you raped me many moons ago? That's the look that she was giving him, like she wanted to blurt that out and tell him. So one of the cops was like, look, no need for that. I just got off the phone with Jim Cryatt. He confirmed his story. He does work for him. And Derek, you've been saved by the bell. Okay, for them to confirm, for Jim to call and confirm who you is. You were saved by the bell. Because I think Hannah is so mad at you right now that she wants, she was willing to say, I don't know that fool, and let you go down and go back to jail. Okay? Regardless if you're a changed man or not. So anywho, we move past that. So Hannah is in the house and they go up to Catherine's room to check, they go to Catherine's room to check and see what's all been missing out of Catherine's room. And, Hannah's going through Catherine's jewelry like, look, she looked like that daggone Wyatt done came up in here and done stole his mama jewelry. She telling the police officer, look, she missing some rings. She missing some necklaces, some watches. This ain't all her jewelry. And a lot of it has been taken. And she trying to write down what's been missing. And, she let the cops know that, look, this ain't all her jewelry. Some of this stuff is missing. And bottom line is that, here's a list of all the stuff. And then she asked one of the cops to walk her out to her car. Then David comes out of nowhere, and David is trying to question Hannah and asks her basically, what did she tell the police? What's going on? And Hannah's just like, I ain't got nothing to say to you. I ain't telling you nothing. She was like, look, David is, trying to reason with her, trying to pump her for information. And she's basically saying to him, I ain't got nothing to say to you. I ain't here for you. Hannah is not here for David. Even though we like David and, we feel like who's more wrong in the situation than David is Veronica. Because Veronica is a piece of work. But, David is a better person than Jim. And, like I said, I like David, sexy silver fox, a handsome silver fox. We'll call him that. Another handsome silver fox. We'll call David that, In my eyes, he can't do too much wrong. Because he's just handsome and he just have a certain persona about him that's just charming and mild and everything else. So, I know y'all might be looking at me like I'm crazy, but David he's more the nicer person. Him and yeah. So yeah, he's only ruthless when he's provoked. So you might not want to provoke him. But yeah, he's Hannah. You don't gotta be that way with David. If you allow God to use you and see His heart, you'll see that. But David, you was giving Hannah a little bit of hell in the beginning. Don't think I forgot season 1 how you was acting towards Hannah. You was very nonchalant because you was Team Jim. But anywho, he's trying to pump her for information. Hannah, and he's like, look, Hannah, Jim wants to know what's going on. If you work for Catherine, you work for Jim. You know they're not going to divorce each other. So can you please just tell me? Hannah like, no, I ain't telling you not a daggone thing. Now go on about your business. I don't care about Jim and I don't care about you. And I'm going home because I'm sick and tired of the BS. Now on to the next scene. We have Mitch, Uncle Vinny, Benny, whatever his name, Uncle Vinny and Benny. They back at the they're back at the jail waiting for Mama Rose. They're at the jail waiting for Mama Rose, and he's getting impatient. He's rushing, trying to rush the cops to tell him what's going on with Mama Rose and everything else. And he's just being impatient because he's trying to hurry up and get his mama out of jail because he feel like. And the cop is like, look, she's in the back. We gave her a chair, a nice comfortable chair. And he like, what kind of chair y'all done gave my mother? What possible chair you can give her in a jail that's comfortable? Clearly, they gave her a lazy boy. Okay, Benny, whatever your name is, Uncle Vinny. They gave her a lazy boy. So she's sitting back there better off than a lot of other prisoners, I tell you that. And she's able to say lights out and I want some quiet time. So she's just fine back there. She ain't going through too much. And yeah. So the cop goes to the back to tell Mama Rose, like, look, your sons are out here and they're waiting for you. And she's questioning him like, so what happened to the police officer that arrested me? He was like, well, he tried to commit suicide. She said, oh really? Well, can you keep me informed on that? And I'm just looking at her like, Mama Rose already knew that he ain't commit suicide. And the fact that she already knew one of her sons then took very good care of all of that. I told you, Mama Rose is a true matriarch gangster here. Okay? She don't play. You don't play with Mama Rose. She got her boys to come and get her out of jail within 2.5 seconds. And they came down there in all outrage. And you seen what they did. And so she's telling the police officer, well, you need to get with the chief of the police or some judge and let him know that I asked him, I guess, about whoever she asked him about, his daughter and how she is in college. I'm just looking like, oh, you really in there, Mama Rose. You got real ties to chief of police and judges and everything. Yeah, you a real true mafia and gangster. We ain't gonna question you. And then we have Candace, who's at the house. She calls Benny to let her in, and Benny, she's like, look, Benny, I just want to get my stuff. Can you come and let me in? He's like, okay, I'm gonna let you in. Of course, we knew how she was gonna get in the house. She was gonna call Benny when Hannah wasn't there. And Benny, of course, he gonna let his sister in because he loves his sister and he'll do anything for his sister, and they're thick as thieves. So we already knew how she was getting it. Now, we go on to another face-off with Catherine and Mama Rose. Is Gangsta Matriarch against Gangsta Matriarch 2. Well, we all know Mama Rose is Gangsta Matriarch 1. Catherine is Gangsta Matriarch 2. And Catherine, I done already said here that you need to leave Mama Rose alone. Okay? You need to stop making threats and you're behind bars. And look at how you being treated. Catherine, you don't look so powerful behind bars. Look at Mama Rose compared to you. Catherine, you might have wanted to be nice with Mama Rose to see how she can help you. Catherine, I like you 100%. But you might want to back down from this fight because you popping mess and you don't look so powerful and strong. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. You don't look powerful at all. Mama Rose, boys then came down there, shot up the joint, put a hot one in one of the police officers, and she's walking out the front door. That's power, money, power, respect. If you eating right, you'll see the light. It's the key to life. And if y'all don't know what that comes from, that comes from the Locks, DMX, and Lil Kim. Money, power, respect. Mama Rose is money, power, respect. Catherine, you just money. You only got respect when you're outside of the gate, outside of the jail. So, yeah. You might want to let this one go. So they going back and forth, and Mama Rose is like, "Oh, how's your daughter? She killed herself, didn't she?" So you know they going back and forth, round, round, round. Come on with it, and I'm just looking like, ooh, Mama Rose is really getting at Catherine. She really is. And she's basically like, I'm a ruthless woman, you know, and Mama Rose looking like, oh yeah, if so you say. You so ruthless, but you're sitting back here. You're so powerful, but you're sitting back here. And they treating you like this. And look how I'm being treated. I'm being treated like a queen. Yeah. Yeah. Catherine, you might want to leave that alone. So we ain't going to dwell on Catherine and Mama Rose in the round 2. Mama Rose won round 1 and round 2. Catherine, you might want to leave that alone and might try to get cool with Mama Rose because she look like she can help. So we go to Mitch down at the bar who gets a call from Benny. And Mitch is basically explaining to Benny, you know, about Derek. He's basically doing the favor that Candace asked him about, trying to throw him off track. And he gets, you know, Benny's telling him like, nah, this ain't our guy, and this, that, and the fourth, and yada, yada, yada. Then walks in Mitch's cousin, and he tells him about Uncle Benny shooting the cop. And he's shooken up about it. He had a weak stomach about it. And Benny was like, oh, so you can't handle this? He was like, what I tell you before, like, this is real life stuff that you wasn't ready for. And Benny is just, you know, Mitch is basically trying to tell his hot-headed cousin, like, you ain't built for this. Like, I told you, I tried to tell you, like, you know, this mafia lifestyle ain't for you. It ain't the move. And he's basically, his cousin is shooken up from what happened at the precinct about them shooting the cop, shooting him in his dome. And, you know, he wasn't ready. Benny tried to tell him, like, you know, I tried to tell you. You ain't want to listen. You missed a tough guy. So we're going to move past that and we go to Jeffrey and Justin. And Justin decides to show up at Maddie's house again. And he's trying to will Justin in. Justin is trying to will Jeffrey in to make him feel sad, you know, about his brother showing up to his house and threatening him. Oh, excuse me, y'all. And Jeffrey ain't here for Justin. He's not here for him. He's not here for him at all. When I say at all, he ain't here for him. He ain't with the mess. And we glad that Jeffrey is off of Justin and he on Maddie, and cause you too crazy. And he's like, look, get out of here. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Go on about your business. And you need not to come around here no more. And he leaves. We ain't gonna dwell too much on that. So we got Jim calling David, talking to him about, Hannah not giving him any information. And he said, how Hannah can be pretty witchy sometimes for somebody that's Christian. And she can. And she can. Hannah's a piece of work. Holy Hannah is a piece of work. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah. So Jim is mad because Hannah wouldn't tell David anything. Nothing at all. And I don't blame her. Look how you treat that woman. You just really expect, whether she worked for you or not, she knows who's really in charge, and that's Catherine, because Catherine holds the purse strings. Jim, you don't hold the purse strings. You sitting up in the hospital bed. Wyatt done shot you. At the end of the day, who holds the purse strings is the one who's in control, right? Correct? And we know Catherine got all that money from that her daddy left her, and she holds the purse string. Yeah, Jim. So Hannah is well aware of that. And she feels, Catherine my boss. Jim ain't not my boss, and I ain't got time for him. I ain't telling you nothing, David. Get on, get out of here. So we're going to skirt past that. We ain't going to dwell on that. And we're going to go to Benny, who shows up to the house to let his sister in, of course. And then him and Candace are talking. And then in rolls Hannah. And she's telling the both of them to get out. Oh, yeah, forgive me. I'm yawning because I'm a little tired. Today was my daughter's first day of school, virtual school, and I've been doing a whole lot, trying to do a whole lot, and a whole lot been going on. So forgive me for the yawning. This is unlike me. So in walks Hannah, and she's like, didn't I tell y'all, both of y'all, to get out this woman's house? And she proceeds to try to call the cops on Candace and Benny. And Benny blurts out and asks her whether Derek rapes her. Stops her in her tracks. She done forgot what she's doing. It done shook her up. She thinking Candace done told him about everything. Candace was like, I ain't tell him nothing. Which she didn't, Hannah. She was still trying to have your back, even though you're trying to throw her out. Candace was like, I told him that wasn't the guy, and this, that, and the fourth. And Benny leaves out, and he's off to try to find Derek and find information. And that's when he goes and talks to Benny, like I told you in the beginning. And yeah, her and Candace start going back and forth at it. And she was like, look, Candace, this man ain't gonna let you keep his money. She said, well, it's my money now because it's millions, Hannah. She said, Candace, this is not your money. You can't do this. Trying to talk sense into her. But Candace is Candace, and Candace doesn't snap back into Candy, and she's on her bad-ish, and she gonna keep this money, and that's that. And it ain't nothing you could say about it to her, because she done let Benny get into her head and tell her to keep the money. And she done gave him a little piece of the money, Hannah, so you really ain't gonna get her to get that money up. Okay. Yeah, Candace, you going to Atlanta? Atlanta? I mean, from Savannah to Atlanta? I would have thought she would have went somewhere else. Yeah. Oh my Lord, I'm so tired. Forgive me, y'all. She's going to Atlanta. $8 million and you going to Atlanta. You couldn't go somewhere else. You ain't even leaving the state. Terrible, terrible. No, I ain't even gonna say that. So let's skirt past that. We go to Veronica dreaming, fantasizing about her and David giving her some of that old thing, giving her something she could feel. Now, at first, the way they had it, the way Tyler had this set up, Tyler, you got me good. You got all of us probably real good who was watching that scene. Now, we really thought David done went back to Veronica and was giving her something she could feel and that he missed her. And I almost thought, what type of love thing that they got going on? They, that excites them or something when they beating on each other and stuff like that and they get lovey-dovey. But then we happen to see Veronica wakes up. She's fantasizing after David says, I was in love with Hannah. And Veronica can't stand Hannah and she thinks very low of Hannah and all the people from the ghetto, but yet she still be screwing the guys in the ghetto. What type of sense does that make? None at all. But she wakes up and there's no David. So we happy maybe David will get with Erica's friend after all. Just looking like, oh, okay, yeah. So I don't know. That could be the reason why we see her surface in this episode. We might see a little bit more of her because her and David might be a thing now. That would be interesting. She kind of do resemble Erica a little bit, so I can see why David might want to do that with her though. Now, let's skirt past that. We go to Mama Rose strolling in the bar. Benny walking out, and he got out of that bar, him talking to Mitch just in time before Mama Rose and all of them got in there. He left out, and of course they know that's Mitch's friend. And all of them rolling up in there, Mama Rose, and she comes in there. Of course, she wants Mitch to join the family business because I get it. I see why she wants Mitch to join the family business because he know how to cut them deals. I'll give him that. He's good with that. But Mitch, that deal you cut with the Criers, you got it done, but you was a little bit slick on the money. So she was like looking like her heart almost broke because I think she wants Mitch to join the family business. He's like, nah, he's still saying no. And her thing was to come in there and get on his cousin, the one that ran out on Uncle Vinny and the boys when they was handling the business. So she said, okay, since you don't want to join, do me a favor and leave us alone so I can talk to everybody. So Mitch says, okay, I'll do that. And he leaves. So Mama Rose looks at his cousin and said, you, what happened to you? Why did you leave? Did you get spooked? Like basically chastising him like your uncle basically had to do what he had to do because we need to be respected in this town. So Mama Rose chastising Mitch's cousin, I forget his name. And then she goes off to turning the family business over to Mitch's uncle, Uncle Benny. And tells Mama Rose said, look, I'm retiring. I'm going with your uncle in Florida. Which I don't really think she is. And she proceeds to telling him, Catherine Cry was talking a lot of mess in the jail cell. She says she gave us 75,000. I want $1 million. Make sure it happens. And he's saying, okay. And he's happy he's taking over the family business. And then off goes to Mitch's cousin and his uncle Benny. And they start talking about the 75,000. And that turns the light on in his uncle's mind. He said, Mama Rose said it was 75,000, but I only got 50,000. I think they're going to find out where that other 25,000 went, and it's not going to go well. And that's why I said, Mitch, that deal you did, now they're going to find out everything that happens. So let's go past that. We go off to Wyatt, who pulls up to this spot trying to get drugs. And he pulls out jewelry, and the drug dealer basically like, look, man, I don't take jewelry around here. And the other guy, not realizing, he don't know, he looked like, these are hood guys. They wouldn't really, not too many hood guys know real quality jewelry. And he's telling the other guy, look, that jewelry is fugazi, it's cheap. And he was like, I ain't giving him nothing. He better get out of here. Benny getting out of the car, hitting him, acting all aggressive and erratic, because he trying to get him a hit and this, that, and the fourth. And he's like, man, look, I ain't dealing with you. Get out of here. Go on about your business. Yeah. So now he's acting crazy and erratic because he really needs a hit. He really needs to get high. Wyatt is about, he's just as dumb as they get. He's about as dumb as a doorknob. This fool is so dumb. He asks the girl, now a girl shows up through all this chaos. They're like, look, we ain't giving him nothing, but if you choose to give him something, you can give him something. So he shows her the ring, and she gives him drugs. And what she gave him, it wasn't enough for him, apparently. And this fool wants to shoot up right then and there. She's like, look, don't shoot up right here in front of everybody. Do this away from here. And he was like, well, you drive my car while I get high. Drive me to where I need to go. So I'm looking like, you don't even know her to let her drive the car. I said, you know what? He is a whole horrible junkie. He is a stone bona fide junkie where he will fight someone to get it. He will steal to get what he needs to get a fix. And when he get his fix, he don't care about nothing or no one other than his fix. To the point where he gonna let somebody else that he don't even know drive his car and drive him where he need to go. So then we have Candace. We're back at the house. Candace and Benny are talking. And he's telling her, he's just telling her how much he loves her and how much he's thanking her for everything. They're having their brother and sister moment. And, she's letting him know that she's going to Atlanta. And they walk outside. Derek shows up. Derek looking at Candace. Candace looking at her like, oh, this ain't good. This ain't good. So she tells Benny, like, what are you doing here? And he is like, well, I wanted to talk to Candace. And he looking at Candace like, can I talk to you for a minute? And Candace is like, yeah. So he proceeds to saying, look, what I did to your mother, I was young back then and I had a drug problem. And I did not know anything about you. And I'm sorry. And hopefully you can tell your mother, I'm sorry. I'm a better man now. And I don't know. I didn't know about you. I didn't know anything. And he's basically wanting Candace to forgive her. And he was like, do you have anything to say to me? She was like, yeah, bye. And he looking at her like, what the hell? She walks off and leaves Derek there. So she's going to Atlanta. So I guess she's going to get to Atlanta by the bus or train or whatever, since she can't fly. So she leaves. And we go back to Wyatt. See, this is why I say Wyatt is a whole hot mess. We go to Wyatt going to Mitch Mama Rose bar where you stabbed Uncle Benny, or stabbed or shot Uncle Benny. You going there to get drugs. In walks Wyatt into the daggone bar, and Uncle Benny and Mitch cousin looking at him like, are we seeing things? No, y'all not seeing things. Wyatt done walked up in there into open season. They ain't even gotta go look for Wyatt. Wyatt walks up into the bar. Catherine, this is why I said Mama Rose is more powerful than you. Okay? So we gonna see where Wyatt is about to get shot by Mitch's cousin on next episode. Wyatt, high, coked up, and everything else, walks into the daggone bar. Same bar that he shot someone in. Oh, Tyler. I see how you trying to do. Are you trying to kill Wyatt off the show? Is that what it is? But that is my review for the Have and the Have-Nots, episode 14. Yeah, y'all, like, let me drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought, because this episode, I was looking like we got Hannah and Derek. We got Candace and Derek. We got Mama Rose and Catherine. And then we got Wyatt and his stupid junkie behind, high as a kite, walking up into the same bar where they plotting on kidnapping him for $1 million. And if they don't get the $1 million, they gonna kill him. And he done walked into the daggone bar. Drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought about tonight's episode. What are y'all take on it? I want to know what y'all feedback is. Y'all already heard mine. I think Wyatt is a fool and he is a pure junkie. And he done set himself up for open season, and they gonna have a field day with him. Do you hear me? Once Mama Rose find out that he has walked in there, and it looks like Vinny is telling the cousin to kill him on next episode. Oh yeah. I can't wait to see next week's episode. So until next time, shugs, till next review, see ya.